So we're doing the bench press. The bench press. Find a bench and press with a bar. Bars are typically 45 pounds. Most of the bars at commercial gyms are the ones that you buy from Walmart are all pretty universal. So the way they're gonna design the rough part and the smooth part should be the same. So when you lie down on the bench press or on the bench, make sure the bar is not with your eyesight, but it's actually higher than you. So sit back down a little bit more. When it comes to bench press, any load that you're gonna do to failure that is less than 10 reps, it's a good idea to have more a spotter. But just to be safe, because the bar is right above you. So on the bench press, how do you find the best grip? Well, start with just the bar itself, or even with a broomstick. Okay, just unrack the bar, put it on your chest. Once it's on your chest, then just look left and look to your right. Just make sure that your forearm is perpendicular to the ground, because on the bottom, that's the hardest part of the lift. So on the hardest part of the lift, you don't want to put too much stress on your wrist. Okay, if I take a really wide grip, my wrist will have to bend to the side, which is not meant to do that. If I take a really narrow grip with my elbow out, then my elbow is doing that. Okay, which is not very healthy because your wrist is not very strong compared to your elbow joint and your shoulder joint. That's going to be lifting a very heavy bar with plates on it. So find a grip that's optimal for your wrist to stay straight, especially on the bottom where it's the hardest. So for me, my pinky ends up right on the ring for me to optimally press. But for you, it might be a little bit different because your shoulder width and your humerus, your upper arm length will be a little bit different from mine. So for me, this is my grip. So now that I know, any gym I go to, any barbell that I use, most of the time they're going to be the same. So I don't need to, where should I grip? I just know, right here. Roll it down, press up, and from here, because your chest is lifting the bar, you want that chest to line up with you want the bar to line up with your chest, not with your eyesight. Some people lift like this, which engages more shoulder, but that's not what we're trying to work on. We want to use the bench press to work your chest. That's the point of using a closed chain movement where you're using the bench to support your back. So you're focused to work on the chest. So it would be silly to put your feet off the ground. Okay, that's kind of taking the point of doing a bench press is to work your chest. If you want to work your core, go do something else. Maybe kick a ball or something. So put your feet down to help you support, because it could be a dangerous movement when you're trying to push heavy. So when things start to get heavy, usually if your right hand at your left side gives out, when it gives out, your shoulder wants to come in. Then if you're looking from the top view down, you will end up having your left side a little bit closer to the torso, where your right side is a little further away from the torso. Because by moving your left arm closer to the torso, then the bar on the left side of my body is shorter, so it's easier. And you automatically do that because you're getting weaker and weaker towards the end of a set. So want to make sure the bar lines up with your chest, and it's a lower, touch your chest, and comes up. If you want to work on being able to push the bar off your chest more because you struggle on the bottom part of the bench press, then use a lighter bar in the future, and then just start coming down here and pause for a second or two before you go, okay, to work on getting out from the bottom. So this is the bench press, this is the rhythm. You want to take a deep breath and then execute the movement and then breathe out, okay. Make sure you use a weight that you could easily have the bar touch your chest and then come up. So if every time you're trying to go heavier and heavier, but then you're missing the bar from hitting your chest, you're not using the full range of movement for your arm. Okay, you want to use the full range of movement of the arm. Another thing about bench press that not a lot of people know about is that you want to arch your lower back. So this is a way for powerlifters to cheat as well, because the more the lower back is arched, the chest is higher. Therefore, the bar touches the chest a little bit sooner. Therefore, you can lift more weights. If you can lift more weights, you get bigger and stronger. Another thing is the neutral position of the back. It's actually arched, not flat. Okay, so by having your feet up here, people thinking this will flatten my back. So the whole thing, my whole back is touching the bench. That's a very misguided way to think about a neutral position for your back. So the neutral position of your back is actually arched. If you have someone standing up and just stand straight, and they can scan them from the side, you'll see that the lower back is slightly arched. So same thing for the bench press. So what's touching the bench is your butt and your back, and that's it. So that's the bench press.